All right, hello everyone. Welcome to today's Court of Honor for Eli Branstetter to celebrate his rank of Eagle Scout. I am Sam Geeling, and I will be the Master of Ceremonies along with Alex Blyler.
Will all those able please rise for the presentation of the colors? Color guard, attention. Color guard, advance. Scout salute or hand over heart. Color guard, post the colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. 2. Please join me in reciting the Scout Oath and Law. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. 2. Please be seated. Color guard dismissed.
Will Caleb Branstetter please come forward to give the invocation?
Please join me in a moment of reflection as we close our eyes. In the spirit of reverence, let us think of the many times we have supported each other over the years and the ways we have helped others advance and the times others have given their time and talent to support us. We are thankful for this day to celebrate. Thank you for joining us. May you feel appreciated and inspired today.
To earn the higher ranks in scouting, a young man has to spend a great deal of time and effort. Therefore, the occasion which recognizes his accomplishments should be something special. Today, we shall follow a pattern that we call lighting the Eagle Trail.
When someone becomes a Boy Scout, there should be stilled within them something that we call the spirit of scouting. This lit candle represents that spirit. Because the spirit of scouting embodies the fine principles of the Scout Oath and Law, it becomes a shining beacon of inspiration. Alone, this light may be feeble, but when multiplied by the 2.2 million members of Scouting, it can become powerful. After someone has entered Scouting, the Scout law that he has promised to obey is put into effect as the occasion may demand. And so, one by one, using the flame from this spirit of scouting, I light the symbols that stand for the parts of the law. There are 12 parts, all important and all meaningful. Each is an important foundation stone in the building of strong character.
A Scout is trustworthy. A Scout is loyal. A Scout is helpful. A Scout is friendly. A Scout is courteous. Just use your imagination. A Scout is kind. Scout is obedient. A Scout is cheerful. A Scout is thrifty. A Scout is brave. A Scout is clean. and a scout is reverent.
And finally, in the three parts of the Scout Oath, he promises upon his honor to do his best to do his duty, first to God and his country, second to other people by helping them at all times, and third to himself by keeping himself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. You see how the light from the spirit of scouting is now beginning to grow and become brighter.
Now, far away, loom the hazy outlines of Eagle Summit, flanked by the lesser peaks that represent the star and life ranks. To the newcomer, they're a long way ahead, but they'll come a lot closer as the light from the spirit of scouting continues to spread. The scout begins as a tenderfoot, as so I like the tenderfoot symbol that stands at the foot of Eagle Trail, once inspired by the spirit of scouting. He won't stay a tenderfoot long. Putting a few simple achievements behind him, he very shortly climbs to the rank of second-class scout.
And then, even though the requirements stiffen a bit, he keeps climbing until finally comes the day when he tops the first summit along the Eagle Trail, where he receives his first-class award. Thus we light the milestone that represents the first-class scout. But he must not stop here, because beyond this first summit, the Eagle Trail still leads on.
A broad field of merit badges awaits him. He needs a total of 6 to conquer the Star Scout Summit. Probably a lot sooner than he thought possible, he finds himself standing on Star Ridge. Thus, through leadership and achievement, he conquers the first of the 3 great peaks along the Eagle Trail. I shall now light the symbol that designates Star Scout. Gaining the next work he has to be done in mastering 5 additional merit badges. Gaining the next summit, the Life Scout Peak, is not as easy. Much leadership, service, and hard work has to be done in mastering 5 additional merit badges and helping other fellows. The higher the scout climbs, the smaller becomes the crowd. Yet there is no impossible barriers along the way. This Life Scout goal can be achieved, but it takes real effort. I now light the symbol of this achievement.
While the rank of Life Scout is a much coveted one and deserving the extreme credit, the Eagle Trail does not end there. It still leads on and on. Toward the summit, its pathway narrows and steepens considerably as it winds along narrow ledges. Mile by mile, it becomes tougher and more trying. Many things have to be done in order to conquer these last miles. Before the highest summit along the Eagle Trail can be attained, many additional merit badges are needed. And in the meantime, leadership and service to others must not be forgotten. Only those with the greatest amount of persistence and courage are able to gain the thrill of victory that comes while looking down the trail from the very top of the Eagle Summit. I shall now light the symbol that stands for Scouting's highest award, the Eagle Scout.
I extend our most hearty congratulations. And now if you, along with your mother and father, will please come forward. Your Eagle badge will be presented.
We are so proud of you, so let me again congratulate you for reaching the highest point along the Eagle Trail. May all the qualities that have inspired you to this achievement continue to lead you on to the greatest success in the ways of life.
Will Donald Moles please come up and give the Eagle Oath, and all Eagles please stand and state your name and year you earned your rank. We'll do the oath first.
Please make the Scout sign and repeat after me. I reaffirm my allegiance
I reaffirm my allegiance
to the 3 promises of the Scout Oath.
to the 3 promises of the Scout Oath.
I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself
I thoughtfully recognize and take upon myself
the obligations and responsibilities of the rank of Eagle Scout.
the obligations and responsibilities of the rank of the Eagle Scout.
On my honor,
On my honor,
I will do my best
I will do my best
to make my training an example,
to make my training an example,
my rank and my influence
my rank and my influence
count strongly
count strongly
for better scouting
for better scouting,
and for better citizenship
for better citizenship,
in my troop
in my troop
and in my community
and in my community,
and in my contacts with other people.
and in my contacts with other people.
To this I pledge my sacred honor.
To this I pledge my sacred honor.
All right, and now can all Eagles in attendance please stand and say your name and the year you earned your Eagle rank. So I'll go first. My name is Alex Blyler, and I earned my Eagle 2020.
I'm Jared. I earned mine in 2020.
I'm Eric Mulcahy. I earned mine in 2016. Nevin Harnack. I earned mine in 2020.
I'm Christian. I earned mine in 2019. I'm Dominic. I earned mine in 2019.
I'm Connecticut, 2018.
Jared Bora, 1985.
Okay, 1985.
Donald Mould, 2021.
Eagles, you may be seated. As an Eagle Scout, the eyes of all scouting, the eyes of the entire world will be trained upon you. Let me remind you that the tradition of Eagle is high. May you live so that this tradition may always be guided by the spirit of scouting. As symbolized by these blazing candles before you, may the neckerchief and medal you are about to receive be symbolic of the spirit of scouting.
Mrs. Branstetter, please pin the Eagle medal on Eli's front pocket, and Mr. Branstetter, please remove Eli's troop neckerchief and replace it with his Eagle neckerchief.
Eli, please present your mother with her pin in recognition of her love, encouragement, faith, and trust in you.
Now, Eli, please present your father with his pin in recognition of his commitment, support, and guiding hand during your scouting journey.
And now, join me in congratulating Eli.
Next, Eli will come to the mic and to present his mentor pin and recognize some other helpful figures along his journey.
My mentor pin is going to someone who has been there since day one of my scouting journey. He's helped me through many difficult challenges that have made me the Eagle Scout I am today. Whether the challenge was getting through my first camp, the pain from backpacking, or falling backwards off of a rock in New Hampshire, he has always been a calming voice that has helped me push on. Mr. Dale, please come up to receive your mentor pin.
As well as his Eagle Scout rank, Eli has participated in BSA's National Outdoor Awards program.
The National Outdoor Awards were conceived by Scouts BSA to recognize scouts who excel in outdoor achievement, experience, and skill. National Outdoor Awards are awarded in 6 areas of outdoor achievement, including camping, aquatics, conservation, hiking, riding, or adventure. The National Medal for Outdoor Achievement recognizes scouts who earn outdoor awards in 3 separate areas, and additionally invest in their own training and provide outdoor leadership in their troop.
Eli has earned the following outdoor awards. Camping Outdoor Award with Silver Device plus 3 gold devices. This award requires earning the camping, cooking, and first aid merit badges, as well as 25 nights of camping. A gold device is earned for each additional 25 nights of camping, and a silver device is for each additional 100. Eli has camped 201 nights. Hiking Outdoor Award with 3 gold devices. This requires earning hiking and backpacking merit badges, hiking or backpacking merit badge, earning orienteering or geocaching merit badge, and completing 100 miles of hiking, backpacking, snowshoeing, or cross-country skiing. A gold device is earned for each additional 50 miles of hiking. Conservation Outdoor Award with 2 gold devices. The requirements are to demonstrate the safe and ethical use of conservation tools, earn the environmental science, soil and water conservation, and fish and wildlife or forestry or mammal study merit badges. A scout must also complete 25 hours of conservation work. A gold device is earned for each additional 25 hours of conservation work.
To earn the National Medal for Outdoor Achievement, the recipient must qualify for the Camping Outdoor Award with Silver Device and 2 additional outdoor awards with 2 gold devices. The recipient must also earn the Backpacking, Emergency Preparedness, Nature, and Wilderness Survival merit badges, complete a 16-hour course in wilderness first aid training, and a 16-hour course to become a Leave No Trace trainer. Plan and lead outdoor activities, including service elements to address recreation impacts of the activity types, and plan and lead an adventure activity, or serve as camp staff in an area such as aquatics, scoutcraft, nature, environment, climbing, or cope.
I am proud to present Eli Branstetter with the National Medal for Outdoor Achievement.
At this time, I would like to invite both Mr. Dale and Mr. Branstetter up to give their guest Scoutmaster and Scoutmaster minutes. And Mrs. Branstetter.
Thank you. As I look out today, I see our village, and my thanks goes out to all of you, not just parents, but the Scouts as well. You've been there for us throughout everything, and we appreciate you so, so much. when we first started scouting, I didn't understand that scouts had a lot to teach me. I've had the privilege of hiking and backpacking with these boys and just watching them grow in their confidence and their competence. And the first time I decided I was going along on a backpacking trip, I joined the crew who had already done Laurel Highlands together. And they were only 13 and 14. And they were so impressive in the way they just worked together and they came together and put together meals and just like, and I came along as a complete newbie and they took care of me. Like, I didn't know what I was doing and they completely helped me along the way. And the first time I was ready to go backpacking, I got so nervous the day before. I had packed my bag, I had checked if I had the things I needed, and I pulled it all out and checked again. And I was just sure that I was forgetting something. And finally, Eli said to me, he said, "Mom, you definitely are going to forget something." And I was like, "What?" And then he said, "But that's okay. There's enough of us that will figure it out, or you'll figure out how to make do without it." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And we got out on that trip, and sure enough, I forgot something. And it didn't matter at all because the crew took care of whatever it was. I don't even remember now, but I remember that he was completely right. When you're backpacking with these boys, we do the trip on Laurel Highlands, and we all hike the same 90 miles, but each of us has our own challenges when we're out there. The phrase, we're each on our own journey, becomes very real when you're backpacking. For some of us, it's a struggle, maybe with a blister or some chafing, or some of us just really have a hard time being with people for 9 days straight without ever getting any time alone completely to ourselves. And some of us have a really hard time going for 5 days without any running water. That was me. That was my challenge. The water has never been as wonderful as it was at the way station where we finally, once in those 9 days, had running water. But it becomes really real, the whole be kind, because you have to be kind to your crew and you have to help them along so that you can all make it that full 90 miles. And Scouts has taught me that it's okay to be the person with a plan. Like, I love to plan, I love to be the cruise director, I love to, make a good spreadsheet. That's part of why we're here today, maybe, a little bit. But sometimes we get out on one of those first hiking merit badge trips, and nobody has their map, and nobody has a plan, or maybe just one guy has a map and a plan. And we really need that one guy that has the map and the plan. And it's good to know where you're going. And so today I encourage you, be kind to each other, know where you're going, and just grow the pie together, make opportunities. So I challenge you today, if you're a scout, to figure out how you're going to grow the pie, how you're going to help your fellow scouts along in this journey so that they can eagle. Those of you who have already eagled, you already know how to help the other scouts. But the younger ones, they're helping everybody else. So thank you. Mr. Dale?
Congratulations, Eli. Awesome job. Looking at the man Eli has become, it's sometimes hard to recall the young scout that first joined the troop. The earliest memories I have of Eli are simply impressions. The word stick springs to mind. A very tiny, skinny, young man was Eli. My first real memory of Eli was on our first overnight backpacking trip. Eli was having trouble with his backpack. The waistband just wouldn't tighten tight enough. Did I mention the word stick? His parents had provided some pads, that was helping, but the result was some serious discomfort. He was in a lot of pain at the beginning of Saturday morning's hike. And I recall wondering how long he was going to last, how many miles we were going to get under our belts before he gave up. But he didn't. We straightened up his shirt so it was not digging into his skin, and he finished the hike and the trek. He earned some serious points for grit that weekend. The next major memory I have was on LHHT, the Laurel Highland Hiking Trail. We had finished the second day's hike to discover that Eli had a really seriously painful ear infection. Again, I found myself concerned that Eli would have to drop out. Though no fault of his own this time. I mean, ear infections are ear infections. Later, a grinning Eli came up to me. I could see fluid dripping out of his ear, which concerned me, but he told me he was okay. The pain had stopped. His eardrum had burst. He was good. The crew overcame other challenges and went on to finish LHH2. Eli's grit rating went up again, as it did for the entire crew that year, actually. The following year, Eli was part of the New Hampshire crew. There are a lot of moments on a trek like that stick with you. We could spend hours talking about them. The main one involving Eli, though, occurred as we went up Mount Adams. I was just back there last week, actually, and I looked up the comments that Eli had left in the AMC Hut guest book. So I will use Eli's own words for this one. So far, it has been a fun trek, and no one has died yet. Although I came close while going up Adams because I fell backwards and went upside. Only make Don the Trailblazer if you want to go fast. My memory of that event is grabbing Eli's ankle as he toppled backwards and holding it while his dad rescued him. Unless you've been at the Whites in New Hampshire, it is hard to describe how steep and rocky that terrain is. That incident shocked the entire crew. And while Eli and the crew recovered, I was mentally preparing our options for cancelling the hike if the crew decided the risk wasn't worth it. But as usual, the crew surprised me with their resilience, and they insisted we proceed up Mount Adams in some gale force winds, I think it was at the time. When you look at the young man Eli has become, you sort of expect that determination from him now. I mean, just look at it. But New Hampshire was 3 years ago. That's a long time ago. He wasn't the man he is now. But at moments of stress and crisis, it was starting to shine through. I often try to work out which ideal of the Scout law a particular Scout embodies. And when I was thinking of what to say, cheerful kept springing to mind. I genuinely believe each Scout, and especially our Eagle Scouts, embodies all the ideals of the Scout law and oath. And Eli certainly supports my belief. Yet there is usually one that stands out. Cheerful. Eli is always smiling. Even in the face of adversity, he relishes the challenge. However, as I rehashed all the high points of Eli's scouting journey, I realized that there is a 13th ideal that tops cheerful when I think of Eli. Determined. I would love to have the power to add to the Scout law, because I would add that. A Scout is determined. Eli was and is determined. Determined to finish the trek despite any adversity. Determined to complete his scouting journey. Determined to blaze his own trail. A Scout is many things. Eli is all that. And Eli is determined. Thank you.
I have a little bit of a reputation for getting emotional when I'm talking about just your average punk kid. So I'm fully prepared to ugly cry for my own son. I'm just going to warn you. Is it on? It's not on, no. Yeah, no, it's on. It's on. All right. So Webster's Dictionary defines a rite of passage as a ritual, event, or experience that marks or constitutes a major milestone or change in a person's life. So I was recently talking with Andy Fabian and Sarah Extra about scouting and just life in general. And I commented that I do a poor job of celebrating rites of passage. I don't feel like I do a good job with that. And they reminded me that scouting is full of rites of passage. And we do all sorts of things that that do that, and they're absolutely right. And I'll just kind of name a couple here. But so we hold a crossover ceremony when Cub Scouts transition over to Scouts BSA. You know, they leave a parent-led organization and they enter into a Scout-led organization where they plan the meetings, they plan the events, and plan the camps. That's a significant change. The Scout's first camp is often his first time away from parents. You know, he's out there with a bunch of virtual strangers for a couple of nights on his own, and he has to make his way through that. That's a rite of passage. Summer camp is even bigger. And they're off for 6 days, 6 nights with these new people, and they have to, decide are they going to be miserable and lonely and homesick, or are they going to embrace all the camp has to offer and slam that slushy machine and roll the slot with are they going to puke that week or not? The first time that a scout is grub master, he takes responsibility to shop for his patrol and prepare food for his patrols that week. And that's a rite of passage for both him and usually his mom, because they've worked through that whole process. For poor swimmers like me, every year when we go to get ready for summer camp and we do the swim test, that feels like a rite of passage. Am I going to be able to pass that stupid swim test or not? And just a couple weeks ago, one of our new scouts, he was going through all the anxiety and fear and everything, and then he did it, and he transitioned to fearful and anxious to proud and accomplished. And those are the kinds of things that we love to see. NYLT, National Youth Leadership Training, is usually a scout's first experience with scout leadership and servant leadership and what we expect out of leaders in the troop. And that's a week of some pretty intense sharing and just activities with other scouts. And we see that as a turning point, a milestone in many scouts' scouting careers. I've been taking all that stuff as natural progressions, just taking it for granted basically. But whenever Andy and Sarah help me think about it, they really are significant milestones and significant rites of passage in the troop. Eli did all that, plus, we've talked about the 9-day, I'm thankful they've talked about all this, because I'll have a hard time talking about Eli, obviously. But the 9-day Laurel Highlands, the ear infection, the summer that he completed LHHT, he also did summer camp, NYLT, National Jambo, so we went for 13 days out to West Virginia, and did all the regular troop camps. He was outdoors camping and away from us for almost 40 nights that summer. It's pretty amazing. Next summer, as Pete talked about, we went backpack through the White Mountains in New Hampshire. We saw Mrs. Johnson at Rock the Park the other night, and she says, "Yeah, I was worried about you whenever you said, I think it isn't too bad except the parts where we have to climb over the boulders." For those of you who haven't been there, it's 5 days of climbing over boulders. And when they shared that with me, I was like, oh boy, what am I in for? And so that's a relatively fit 45-year-old male, and I was like, oh man. And so that was a personal rite of passage for me to get through that, and then to have the fall incident. And but as Pete said, kind of. We sat down, we had to cry on that rock together, and we moved on. And then finally, the Eagle Project. That is Scout's first time to really lead a project, to be a project manager, to define what he wants to do. And things inevitably go wrong on an Eagle Project. We expect that. I often tell the Scouts, look, if you knew how to do this, we wouldn't require it of you. That's the reason we require you to go through this. So again, another rite of passage. So I'm obviously very proud of Eli, with many accomplishments, but just as importantly, I'm proud of how he's conducting himself. He's often the scout that other people go to for advice, or to solve a problem, or to get through a situation. He's helped a number of other scouts through their Eagle projects. I think he's kind of an informal Eagle coach in our troop. And just recently, whenever one of the scouts was getting ready to go to NYLT and was nervous about it, he called Eli and asked for some advice. to kind of coach him through. And then the dad told me that he felt much better after talking with Eli. So, anyway, I'll stop bragging about him and come to the point. Life is busy and can be overwhelming. Many of the things that life throws at us feel like obstacles that we wish we could just push through or avoid. Well, that's the thing. If you do life correctly, you'll continue to be challenged and to grow. I'm certainly challenged and grown a lot through this role as Scoutmaster. So rather than view challenges as obstacles to avoid, I encourage you to embrace them as rites of passage. Ask yourself, what will I learn from this? How can I use this experience to mark a milestone in my life? And how will this rite of passage prepare me for even bigger accomplishments in the future? And finally, take time to recognize and celebrate your rites of passage. After all, you've earned them.
Thank you to all our speakers. And now, color guard, please retire the colors. All right, please rise for the retirement of the colors. Scout salute, color guard, retreat. Two. All right, please join us for refreshments.